Let's look at Sunday, the end of week 13. Who can we stream in for points leagues, for category leagues? What injuries do we need to pay attention to? Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I'm riding around in a Rover. If I see ops, then it's over. I'll send man straight to Jehovah when I take shots like M. Sharapova. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Twitter as always at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find qualified candidates that you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNBA. That is linkedin.com/LockedOnNBA. To post your job for free, terms and conditions apply. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free. We are available on all platforms. Double bang? Yep. It's a good day to do it. Go ahead and listen to the audio, jump across, watch the video, give it a thumbs up, leave your comments down below as well. Hit the subscribe, and remember, live trade deadline show Thursday, February 8th, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. If start banging out early, maybe we'll go earlier than that, but that's the time that we're planning to go there. I want to get those pre-likes up over 500. We're getting real close. And then we'll set the next goal to 1,000. So let's just go and smash it and bookmark it and get ready to rock and roll. We are here to talk about Sunday's action in the NBA to end Week 13. I've already done the Week 14 preview show, which is up early already, so go and check that out. We've got 6 games on Sunday. There is an early start, a 3:30 p.m. Eastern start, so get your lineups set and ready to crack in that scenario. What injuries do we have? I just realized that I've put the wrong thing down here, but that's okay. I can talk over it. Day'Ron Sharpe's out. Ben Simmons is out. Jaime Jaquez is out. Gaz Harris is out. Franz Wagner I thought was going to be out, but he has been upgraded to questionable. So I did color in blue. I just forgot to put the Q there. So Franz Wagner is questionable. Now, the Magic do have a Sunday-Monday back-to-back. He's coming off an ankle sprain. Be pretty surprised if Franz is playing both of those. So, if he is available for Sunday, he'll be out Monday is my guess. If he plays if he's out Sunday, then there's a big chance he plays Monday. But the return of Franz is coming. Reggie Bullock remains out for Houston. Now, Houston and Washington, sorry, that's not true. Reggie Bullock is out on Saturday, and they play Saturday, Sunday, so we're going to guess that Reggie's going to be out. I don't really care that much whether he is or not. He's not a big part of the rotation. I'm also going to guess that Tari Eason remains out Sunday as well. We haven't really had any recent updates on his leg issue stemming from that stress reaction earlier in the preseason. I don't think it's worth holding Tari unless, of course, you've always got that open IL slot. Cam Reddish is going to be out for the Lakers. What I don't know is Daniel Gafford. Now, Gafford is out on Saturday with a concussion. You would think there's a decent chance that he sits on Sunday. It's usually not going to be a long-term thing, but we just keep holding Marvin Bagley. Now, Marvin Bagley's not going to appear in this video in terms of streaming for Sunday because he's already jumped up to over 40% rostered, which is a huge number, as it should be. While Gafford is out, we roll with it. There is a small chance, like I said the other day, that they do get a 23, 25-minute split. I think it would be the wrong call for Washington, but it's Washington, so you never know what's going to happen. And now we know that Bagley is out on Saturday. Sorry, Gafford is out on Saturday. Bagley will play 40 minutes, although they did just sign Trey Jemison as a big man, as a 10-day, so just watch. Maybe that cuts a little bit off the top of Bagley. Not that Jemison's that good, but Bagley's not either. And Sunday we could use Bagley as well, and then we hold Bagley when Gafford returns to see how they distribute the minutes. Because if it goes to Gafford playing 30 and Bagley 18, well, we're not going to deal with James Wiseman Sr. that often. Like, he's going to be just that stream guy. But if it gets to 25 or 24, not that Bagley's a great option in 24, but he might be. So we want to hold and see. I'm listing Horford and Porzingis as questionable. Now, if you go scour an official injury report, you won't see their names there just yet at the time that I'm recording this. But this is the first of a back-to-back for the Celtics. So we have to expect, we guarantee that Al Horford's going to sit either Sunday or Monday. We just don't know which one. There's a chance that Porzingis sits one of them. He might not. He might sit the same one as Horford. He might sit a different one to Horford. He might sit 0 of them. So I'm just putting on your radar that Horford and Porzingis are at risk to miss this game. I don't think there's any problem with Jalen or Tatum or Derek White or those guys Who's the other one that I missed? Tatum, Brown, Holiday. I don't think there's any risk of those guys sitting, but I'm going to put Horford, who is definitely sitting a game Sunday or Monday, and Porzingis, who's maybe 50% to sit one of them. So I'm putting them on the list just so you're aware. If they're both out in the same game, well, Luke Cornett jumps way up. Isaiah Jackson missed the last game with a head problem. I don't think that he's going to be a part of the rotation much anyway, so I don't think that matters all that much. Andrew Nembhard is questionable with a back issue. His return will be very intriguing. What does that do to Mathurin? What does it do to Heald? What does it do to McConnell? What does it do to just to take like Obi Toppin out of the rotation even further? We'll find out what goes on there. Bol, questionable for the Suns. Their backups and all their minimum guys, they just seem to rotate them. Some days it's Littleface, sometimes it's Okogie, it's Bates Diop, it's Watanabe, it's Bol, it's Metu, it's Eubanks. And I can't really get a full handle on it because it changes every single game. The other two that are really important are going to be Anthony Simons and Scoot Henderson. Simons this last game with an illness. Scoot left the last game after 9 minutes after getting a whack in the head. I guess there's a concussion risk there. Now, they've got a very strong upcoming schedule here, the Blazers, and Scoot was thriving in that bench role. But the fact that Sharp is out, Simons might be out, Scoot is out, then Malcolm Brogdon's going to go through the roof here, and that's going to really boost his value, and there's going to be a lot more shots to go to other people there too. But we don't have that update there. What the Miami Heat did do, though, is they updated us on Tyler Hero and said that he's probable. They're one of those teams that is pretty annoying with the injury report, and they always do this thing where they list players as in. Like, bro, okay, I didn't think there was any doubt that Duncan Robinson wasn't going to play, but they put him on there, Duncan Robinson playing. Like, okay. And then it's like 12 guys appear on the injury report. And they just all these randoms like Tyler. Looks like the Bulls chucking Patrick Williams is probable for every injury report with the ankle. Now he's actually questionable, but they do that often as well. Interesting thing that did happen with the injury report. We got the report about Zach LaVine yesterday saying that he was going to be out 1 to 2 weeks. The Bulls' official injury report for Saturday has LaVine listed doubtful. So I don't know what's going on there. Just something to watch, just in case there's any sort of weirdness happening. The teams that play the back-to-back across the weekend, or not across the weekend, Sunday through Monday. So when you're looking to get a stream guy in on a Sunday or the Monday, who can you get the double up for leading into Week 14? It is Boston. We talked about the Porzingis-Horford scenario. It is Orlando. We talked about the Franz Wagner sitting the back-to-back potentially. And it is the Phoenix Suns. Not that there's huge amounts there, and it is hard to guess those guys, but the value of an Eric Gordon. Obviously, Grayson Allen must roster, even though he hasn't been grabbed everywhere. But then you've got those backup guys. Can you find the right player? That's probably going to be a little bit difficult given the way they've been using that. Today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. Hiring is key, but sometimes it could be treated flippantly. But you don't understand how much of, maybe you do as a small business owner, the importance of staff and how much of your outgoings it costs and how impactful it is on the success of your business. So in 2024, your goal should be to get the right staff in for the right jobs, but it can be a nightmare. LinkedIn Jobs helps to take that difficulty out of it. It's not just a job network, it's LinkedIn. So there's over 1 billion professionals that your job is going to be shoved in front of. They're out there. And small businesses report that 86% of small businesses report they get a qualified candidate for a job within 24 hours. That sort of result is fantastic. It cuts out wasting time in terms of searching for someone, but also having to sift through the resumes. They get to you, and they get to you in a really, really good way. So LinkedIn has so many different benefits there, but one of those things is just cutting out time and helping the people who own small businesses focus on what they really need to do. So post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnba. That is linkedin.com/lockedonnba to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Okay, let's now look at how we're streaming in for points leagues. We'll start in Yahoo points leagues. These guys, again, we tried to adjust my percentage rostered cutoff based on some inactivity in leagues. So these are all under 40% rostered. A quick note: Marvin Bagley sits at 42, so he's a great option. Norman Powell sits at 40, so he doesn't exactly meet my cutoff. But as always, you got to have a cutoff somewhere. You go, well, 40 is close enough to 39. Then you go, well, 41 is close enough to 40. Or 42 is close enough to 41. Where do you draw the line? So I've drawn it at 39. I'm just telling you, Norman Powell 40, Marvin Bagley 42. So consider those guys as pretty strong options if they are available. If Yahoo points, the cockroach. Mason Plumlee. Yeah. Is he going to play 28? I don't know. But I'm also pretty interested to see exactly what they do in terms of that role. He played 28 last game. Do they go away from him to get Tyson Westbrook on the court more? It's possible. Or does he play even more? Regardless, I like him as a points league guy. Jabari Walker. Big minutes. Starting. Not going away, I don't think. I think he's a really strong short-term ad. The Blazers have got an intermediately strong schedule as well. Plus, I just think he's going to start rest of season. If they're making the move to start Walker and Grant together, I don't really think they're going to go away from it. They might, but I don't think they are. I've got Goga Bitadze there. Wendell Carter outplayed him last game, absolutely. And I think Carter might take that starting job back soon. But Goga still has some value in 21 minutes. We'll just see whether he holds that or not. It's a little risky. Dylan Brooks. Yeah, we all love Dylan Brooks, but there is value for him in fantasy points leagues, absolutely. And he's got not many of these guys have the ability to hit 40 minutes. Maybe Jabari Walker does, but Brooks does. Aaron Nesmith, feel like he's locked into a starting role. Does that mean 30 or 26 minutes? That's a big question, but I do like Nesmith's value here. He should be rostered in most leagues. He's probably more of a streamer in points leagues, though. And then I'm going to go with Caleb Martin, who did start next to Nikola Jovic last game. With Kyle Lowry benched and Tyler Hero at point guard. Jaquez remains out. Jovic only played like 15 minutes, so Martin is that option there. Again, not a must-roster player, but a little bit of stream value there for the big fella who's not that big. On ESPN points, it's basically the same list of names. It's Mason Plumlee, Jabari Walker, Goga Bitadze, Aaron Nesmith. I'm going to throw Reggie Jackson in there. He has had some pretty efficient games. They can rely upon him for some scoring. He just is in that mix, and Dylan Brooks gets bumped down because of the big hit that ESPN Points League scoring systems do provide to your efficiency, and we know it is Dylan Brooks. So if you're going to have efficiency issues with someone, it's going to be with Dylan Brooks. So if we go to category leagues now, we're going to use the same cutoff, the 39% rostered for each individual category. And for the points category, I am going to go with Dylan Brooks. Again, the minutes are there. The opportunity is there. Does Dylan Brooks hate taking shots? Of course he doesn't. So he's going to have that chance to do it. Again, Marvin Bagley, Norman Powell will be right at the top of this list, but they just don't hit the cutoff. I've got Lonnie Walker in there who can just drop 18 points in 16 minutes. It is a little bit risky given his minutes and they can be a little bit all over the shop, but he's widely available and there is an opportunity there for him. Jabari Walker and Mason Plumlee, two names I've mentioned already. Walker just through starting, he might get 12 to 13 points just without even having a hot streak game, which is really interesting for us. And then Plumlee can drop 6 alley-oop dunks reverse in a game. That's 12 points. With James Harden running the pick and roll, he can easily get double digits. Reggie Jackson doesn't do really much else apart from scoring. It is why he's favored in points leagues. But if you're looking for a points boost off the bench, Reggie is there. And then Aaron Nesmith, starting role, shooting the absolute lights out for most of this season. Nesmith is there an option for you. For threes, some of the same names here. We're going to Lonnie Walker the fourth, Dorian Finney-Smith. He takes like no shots that are twos. It's all threes. And his minutes are relatively secure most of the time. Eric Gordon, again, doesn't take many shots that aren't threes. They've got a back-to-back coming up. He plays those 25, 26 minutes, and when games get close, they close with him. He can hit 4, he can hit 7. Again, I talked about this in the daily preview show last Sunday, is about you can find spike guys, and there's differences. Like, is Lonnie or Dorian Finney-Smith a spike player for threes? Probably not really. Like, I feel good that Lonnie can hit 2, and Finney-Smith hits 2, but what's the chances of them hitting 7? Probably low. Eric Gordon can hit 7. Really easily. Peyton Pritchard can go off and hit 6. He might only hit 1 or 2, but he can hit them. Torian Prince can go 8 of 9. And he is starting. And Darvin Ham, which are Lakers fans, I love how they call him Pockets. One of the best nicknames ever. Pockets Ham. Love it. He loves Torian Prince. And then Slam and Sammy Hauser. He takes no shots that aren't threes, so he can also pop off as well, especially if a Porzingis or a Horford happens to be resting. So there's stream value and spike value for all of those guys. In terms of rebounds, Mason Plumlee, it's not really a spike situation there for him. We just know that he's a good rebounder and he's going to play pretty solid minutes, so we like that. Jabari Walker, probably a double-digit guy. He's not that big, Jabari, but he's a very strong rebounder. Goga Bitadze, that's double-digit rebound upside very clearly. Jared Vanderbilt, well, if the man's not rebounding, he's not on the court, and he is quite good at that. And he probably doesn't have as high a ceiling as a Jabari or a Plumlee, mainly because of minutes. He can grab 8 in like 24, but he's not going to play 30. He's not going to play 35 minutes, I would guess, old Vanderbilt bar. Kevin Love has cooled a little bit after that early hot streak, but we know the man is a demon rebounder. And the other one there is Christian Wood. Now, Wood was playing 20 minutes a night at the Crucifix. The last couple of games it has dropped down, so I am pretty iffy in recommending Christian Wood. But if they go back to that rotation where he plays 20 minutes, then yes, he is a double-digit rebound upside threat. But at the moment, they seem to have moved to phase him out a little bit. So just want to pay a little bit of attention to how the role is looking there for him. For assists, I'm not going to lie, it's relatively dry. But Timothy John McConnell, yes, Tyrese Halliburton is back. but McConnell is the backup point guard. Andrew Nembhard's return could impact this, but McConnell can have 5 assists in 14 minutes. That's good. Reggie Jackson, not a high-level guy, but we know the minutes are there. We know the role is there. He could give you 4 assists. Dennis Smith's the interesting one. He could drop a 10 assists in 25 minutes out of nowhere. He's been awesome in terms of per minute production. The problem is the last 2 to 3 games, Spencer Dinwiddie's minutes have pushed back to 33, 34 when Smith looked like he was coming for that job. But there is upside there in Dennis. Kyle Lowry off the bench. I don't think he's going to really spike for big assist numbers, but 4 or 5 are possible. Jingling Joe, yeah, he's been handling 20 minutes a night off the bench. The upside's relatively low, but I don't think that someone like Franz Wagner cuts into his minutes. He just is going to play what he does. And then Peyton Pritchard's a bit of an upside guy just in case a Drew or a Derek White is out, but he's going to get his 16, 17 minutes and maybe get you 4 assists. There's not a lot there in terms of spike value for assists. It is a harder category to stream in, especially so at the moment. Today's episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. 2023 is over, and it's time to look forward to 2024. So finding the right things in your life to focus on to improve, because we all want to do things to be better. It's key, and that's where therapy can come in. It doesn't have to be drastic, life-altering resolutions. It's building on little small things. You might have started taking daily vitamin supplements, multivitamins in the morning. You go, okay, that's good. That helps me improve some of my overall health. And now it's like the next thing, okay, well, maybe I need to incorporate fresh veggies into my diet. That seems like a small change, but sometimes it's hard to get past that. And therapy's available to be able to help you look for those little things and understand that everything in life can be a slow process. It doesn't have to happen bang like that, immediate gratification. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Fill out that brief questionnaire, get matched with a therapist. Hey, and if you don't even like the therapist, just get rid of them. You get a new one in, and you can switch them over free of charge, which is really a key feature, which seems underrated, but it is key. Celebrate the progress you've already made. Visit betterhelp.com/lockedonnba today to get 10% off your first month. That is betterhelp, HELP.com/lockedonnba. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. The NFL playoffs are here. We are getting closer to knowing who is going to be the 4 teams left for the conference championships. But that doesn't mean that there's not time to get in on the action at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That is $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. So all you do is put a bet on whatever it is. Whether it is a parlay or a money line or a total or a spread or player props, whatever it is, you put $5 on and you get $150 in bonus bets back. And you can check out all the different things they have. Their Explore tab for different bet types. You can check out their live same-game parlays. The app is easy to use. And of course, the much vaunted Parlay Hub, where you can see other people's parlays in there. You can go and create your own and get things set up to maybe get a parlay cracking over on FanDuel. So go to fanduel.com/lockedon and make your first bet a layup. FanDuel is an official partner of the NFL, and don't forget to gamble responsibly. Okay, let us go through the rest of these categories now. We're going to go to steals, and a similar name just keeps appearing here. It's Aaron Nesmith, who is a starter, who's available in 60% plus of leagues, who I think is probably a 12-team league rosterable player in categories, and just is available. So just go and get him. The next name on that list is DeLon Wright. Now, I would be a little cautious with DeLon because it is a back-to-back and he had that knee issue, so maybe he sits. Just be careful with that. We've got Jared Vanderbilt, who is a big man. He's very good at steals. We talked about him with rebounds. The upside's capped with the minutes, but he's there. Jabari Walker. Dylan Brooks, that's what he can do defensively. The minutes could lead to some nice numbers. And Matisse Thybulle. You want to talk spikes for steals. DeLon Wright, big steal spike guy. Matisse Thybulle, big steal spike guy. They can have 5 steals very, very easily. Yes, they're both backups playing under 20 minutes. That doesn't mean they can't have 5 steals in 20 minutes. We know that Thybulle brings nothing else, but he can really, really bring you home in that steals category. For blocks, we're going to go to 2 Orlando Magic guys, Goga Bitadze and John Isaac. Isaac can get you 2 blocks in 15 minutes. Probably can't get you the 4 or 5 because of the minutes limits, but Goga can, because Goga might play 26 minutes if things start to go really well. Peyton Watson's a little bit more desperation there for the Nuggets. It's probably only a 1-block guy, but the one to watch here is Daniel Tice. He had 3 blocks last game for the Clippers. He is going to be most likely the backup behind Mason Plumlee, but if Plumlee doesn't play that well or Westbrook's playing well and they want Tice out there, he can get you 2 blocks pretty easily. Aaron Nesmith, out of position blocks as well. And I've got Mason Plumlee down the bottom. Remember, he had 3 blocks last game for the Clippers, but also remember, he had 1 block for the entirety of the season. He's a big man who does not block shots as a general rule, unless he's been reinvigorated to be this shot blocking legend. I doubt it, but he could be. But as a big man who's probably going to start, we at least can have a look at that, and he is available in a lot of different spots. In terms of looking at influencing the field goal percentage, Plumlee's right there. Like, he is an awesome stream at the moment. Yes, he's going to hurt your free throws in a pretty significant way. Points, rebounds, fantasy points, steals, and sort of, not really, some blocks maybe, but a lot of field goal percentage for Plumlee. Goga Badadze, Jalen Sticks Smith, who I believe will get all the backup center minutes behind Miles Turner. Timothy John McConnell as a guard is a really high field goal percentage player. Daniel Tice and Jared Vanderbilt are also pretty good options for field goals. For free throw percentage, Cole Anthony, even though I don't think he's a must-roster player, he's awesome at the line and he gets shot attempts. Joshie Richardson, Kyle Lowry, two Miami guys coming off the bench, both very good foul shooters. DeLon Wright, Kevin Love, and Jeff Green, a lot of the old beat-up veterans there who can come in and hit you one or two free throws. It's not going to be huge, but you're not going to get big volume free throw percentage influences just jumping in off the waiver wire. For a couple of other categories for three-point percentage, we are going to look towards Aaron Nesmith. Assist to turnovers, TJ McConnell. Offensive rebounds and free throws made, Mason Plumlee. Now, Mason Plumlee's terrible at free throw percentage, but in terms of free throws made, he gets to the line a little bit, so he can hit 2-3 of them, which is not easy to do when you're finding guys on the waiver wire. And then field goals made, I am going to look to Dylan Brooksy Brooks there. If we want to get chunky and look Sunday through Thursday, the next 5 days, they're all quality game days, they're all streamable, and there are quite a few names here that are interesting. Jabari Walker and the Blazers go Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They are in the midst of a really, really heavy load of their schedule, so Jabari looks strong. The same goes with the Pacers, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday for Aaron Nesmith. Kyle Lowry goes Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday. I guess there's a back-to-back rest risk for Wednesday, Thursday, but he's coming off the bench in a nice little 3-game 5-night stretch. Same with Caleb Martin, who obviously plays the same schedule as Kyle Lowry. Dorian Finney-Smith goes Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday in Brooklyn. You could throw Lonnie Walker behind that if you wanted to. And then this is interesting, is the Duck Luke Kennard does not play on Sunday. He only has 2 quality games, or 2 games in the next 5 days. But the Grizzlies do have an upcoming 4-game week. And Kennard is only playing Monday, Wednesday here, but his value looks so good that it does trump a lot of the other 3-game teams. So he should just be on a roster, I think, until they decide that he's not going to be a starter or they're going to try somebody else in that position, which I don't think that they will do, but it is possible. And that, legends, is the end of the streaming show, the look ahead show, the waiver wire show for Sunday's action across the NBA. Don't forget to be a double banger. Hit across and hit the thumbs up, hit the notification bell, hit subscribe, and leave your comments down below. Are you going to win this week? Do you think you're going to win your matchup in fantasy? If so, please let me know that in the comments down below. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.